This looks good.
It looks good. I like it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, Soul Seekers. I'm Patricia Romero-Wolfson, one of your soul guides.
Hello, everybody. I am Linda Krause-Barnett, and I am one of your other soul guides, coming to you live from my vehicle.
That's right. I don't think you've done a video on your vehicle.
I haven't done a video from my vehicle, but you know what? We're badass moms, so we make it happen wherever we are.
That's right. We are badass moms, and what a great way to start our International Women's Day video today.
Woo!
Woo! And of course, my male puppy is now trying to get my attention and interrupt us.
Woo! He's trying to say his piece. Let him talk.
Oh my goodness. Here he is. He wants to say hi.
Blueberry, tell us what's on your mind.
Tell us what's going on.
How do you feel about Women's Day?
Just like a man trying to interrupt us while we're talking. I think he was trying to mansplain us. I think he just found a new spot in the house he wants to hang out, and that's what he wanted, because this dog does not bark. Anyway, so yes, let's talk about International Women's Day and, why it's nice to have a day to celebrate us. And one of the things that came up for me when I was thinking about International Women's Day is kind of the importance of us celebrating each other, regardless of the paths that we choose to take, because each woman makes her own choice of the path that she chooses to make for her life, whatever feels in most alignment with her values, with her vision for life, with who she wants to be. And I think it's important to support those choices, for myself, for you, for everybody, for our daughters, to allow them to feel fully supported in whatever choice they want to make for their lives. And I really think that although men typically get a bad rap for being the ones that keep us down, I think we do a really good job of keeping each other down too. Don't you think?
Yep, I do. And I think that we are just, I think about this with my daughter all the time. We're just not trained we're trained to pick, right? So if you're a mom, how do you juggle being a wife and a mom and having a career and having a dream? And, I definitely see people rocking it, but even the people who are rocking it, if you really have deep inner conversations with them, they're having a hard time keeping all the balls in the air. And I think that we have to treat ourselves with grace, because I think that we are mothers, women, we are so many things, and we try to be so many things. And sometimes we're so many things that we forget ourselves. So I think there has to be a little bit more grace and gentleness with the way we treat our bodies, the way we treat the balance, and that if sometimes it's too much, we're always giving help, but it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say I need to be supported. It's okay to say I need to be loved. It's okay to ask for the things that you're so good at giving, and to be let it in and be a receiver.
And, I totally resonate with that. I read a quote the other day, and it was, in reference to that basically the people who are helpers and caregivers are so used to being the ones that are helping and caregiving that they have a really hard time asking for help. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, well, I do ask for help, like when I was thinking in terms of my family, I'll ask them to contribute, and I've worked really hard to do that and not feel like I'm failing, because that's what happens, right? Like you start thinking, oh, if I'm asking you for help, it means I can't handle it, and I should be able to handle it. Therefore, I'm failing. And because we feel that way internally, then very often we sort of reflect that onto other people. And if we see somebody else asking for help or somebody else struggling, sometimes we'll judge that. I mean, I'm speaking from my own experience and for things I've seen around me where we see somebody and we're like, oh, like they can't handle it. But we're not judging them so much as we are judging ourselves if we were in that position. And it's like, well, I wouldn't handle it that way. And so if I wouldn't handle it that way, then maybe what they're doing is not the right way to handle it. And I think that's why embracing like who we are and where we're at in the moment is so important, because when you, and I love the word that you used, grace, when you give yourself grace, when you increase your own self-compassion, then you are so much more able to do that for the people in your life, whether it be for your children, for your spouse, or for somebody you don't know that you see on the street. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, and I think that we sometimes, okay, I'll speak for me, but I know that when I became a mom, a lot of the Linda went away, and I took on my role as a mother as like, you know, the role. That was it. I was a mom. And although I appreciate that, and I do believe in the devotion to my children, I think that I did not honor myself in the process. And now that I have a daughter who's 11, and I'm changing that, and I'm changing my belief systems, and I am showing up for myself, I prefer the lesson that I'm teaching her, and that it's love is not synonymous to sacrifice, and it doesn't have to be.
Yes. Love is not synonymous with sacrifice. I think we need to pause on that for a moment, because never truer words have been spoken. And I truly believe that that is a underlying belief that we as women have been trained to believe. It's that you need to sacrifice for love. You need to sacrifice for your family. You need to and it's not, you're not proving your love unless you sacrifice. And that's the thing that is hurting us the most, because that shows how entrenched we are in the lack mentality. Like, I have to give to you, so therefore I cannot take for myself. I cannot have for me because I need to give it all to you, as opposed to I am going to give to myself so that I have more for you. And that's the lesson that I think we need to learn the most, is that the more I have for me, the more everyone in my life will have from me, right?
Absolutely. That's why, in the book I'm writing, there's like a whole chapter devoted to putting your air mask on first, and how I used to laugh at the, like, okay, because that's what I'll do. I'll freaking watch my kids suffocate while I put my air mask on, like, never happening. And it took me, being a mom and traveling and being out of air and being like completely depleted in my own life, to figure out that, oh my gosh, like when I am pouring from an empty cup, nobody's getting a freaking drink.
That's so true. It's like, if you got nothing in your bottle, you're not pouring anything for anybody. And
you're empty, and you're just scraping the bottom of, what little scrapes you could get, what's left, and you're not. And I think that the best way to show up for the people you love, the best way to parent, the best way to be a woman, the best way to honor your children and yourself, is to include yourself in the family, to include yourself in the love that you give, to include yourself in honoring what you're teaching. The lessons you teach your daughters is the lessons you should be living by example. And I cannot say that I've perfected that, and I cannot say with confidence that Joelle hasn't seen other examples, because of course she has. But she also sees me work on it. She sees me catch my mistakes and own them. She sees me say, wait a minute, there's a better way, Joelle. I've been doing this wrong, and now I want to try this way. How does this feel? And taking that journey with me, I really feel like that's the best parenting I've ever done.
I couldn't agree more. And as you know, I don't have any girls, but let me tell you the importance of teaching your boys that, because how you treat yourself and how you allow yourself to be treated is how they are going to treat the women in their life. And if 100%. You are the type of woman, and you have a son, so you're, everything that you're doing is benefiting both Joelle and Dylan.
100%.
If they see me always sacrificing myself, always giving myself, then they're going to have that expectation of any woman in their life, whether it's a life partner or a friend or whatever. They're going to have the expectation that, oh, women are here to serve me. Women are here to do things for me. I don't have to do it for myself. And I've seen it, growing up, traditional Portuguese. I mean, my family is traditional Portuguese, but not like super old school. There was a lot, my mom was pretty independent and worked and stuff. But certainly in, my family and friends around me, there's a lot of that old school mentality where women did all the work and did all the cooking, cleaning, and everything. And then, I would go to people's houses and the men would literally sit down and do nothing while everybody else cleared the table, cleaned up, and this and that. And I will not allow my boys to sit and watch anyone do anything. They get up, they help clean, they do their laundry. I teach them. I'm like, this is a team effort. Our home is like a sports team. And, yes, everybody has their positions. There's the goalie, there's the forward. But when you're struggling, the team needs to work together to make sure, well, I'm using soccer reference because I like it. But the whole team needs to work together. And if somebody is not in their position or isn't able to be in their position or isn't able to do what they need to do, then the rest of the team has to come in and help that player out. That's how a family functions together. That's how a community functions together. And that's how we need to help our kids learn and help, our women evolve into knowing that they are important and that they're valued, but they don't have to have the whole world on their shoulders by themselves.
And that's the other thing, I'll just conclude with this. You do not need to have all the answers figured out. Hello, world, soul seekers. If there's one thing I want you to leave here with today, it's that you do not need to have it all figured out. You do the next right thing in the next moment, and we think that women have to be like little perfection beings, and we are not. We're just humans, just like everybody else, and we do the best that we can with the information that we have in the moment that we live it, and give yourself a break.
Give yourself a break. That is if we could take this whole conversation, it really is just give yourself a break. Have some compassion for yourself. We would never, turn to our kids and be like, you suck if they fail at something or if they don't get something the first time. If they get up and start walking and they fall, you're not yelling at your 11-month-old going, man, you suck. You're never going to walk. But that's what we do to ourselves every day. If we have a day that we trip and we fall or we don't get the things that we wanted to done, we're the first ones to berate ourselves and to yell at ourselves and say, you suck and you're never going to get anywhere and you're useless and you're a terrible mom and you're a terrible woman and all the things. We need to take a step back and go, okay, I just need to get up and try again and have that same compassion for everybody else in our lives, because that's how we're all going to make it. We can all make it together. It doesn't have to be, oh, if you get there, I don't get there.
And by the way, I never wanted to be a Stepford wife. I'm not looking for perfection. I never claimed to be. I never want to be. I think that my mistakes have taught me my biggest lessons, and I honor my mistakes as much as I honor the things I do really well. They are all a part of me. They push me forward, and some days I remember that more than others, but keep in mind that whatever you're doing wrong is only a lesson, and it's packaged a little differently, but it is just as much of a gift.
I love that. And on that note, if you have not subscribed yet to our channel, do it. Ring that bell so you get notifications of our videos. So we're putting up videos every Tuesday and every Thursday on YouTube. So if you want to be a part of the discussion, if you want to join us on our soul-seeking journey, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until the next time, we will see you for our next discussion. Bye.
Bye, everybody.